Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey! Today we're going to be talking about J No, aka Jennifer Lopez. Well, don't get too excited because we're going to be talking about whether Jennifer Lopez is a controversial. And you read the title, you know this already. But I'm going to basically talk about whether if I think she is a controversial. There's a hint, the title. But we're gonna go in order in this video so you guys can get an idea of where I'm coming from with the research and the facts and opinions on my subscribers and my Instagram followers. Which, by the way, thank you so much for voting on my Insta story. I appreciate it. Now, on to the intro. Jennifer Lynn Lopez Affleck was born and raised in the Bronx, New York on July 24, 1969. Her parents, David Lopez and Guadalupe Rodriguez, were born in Puerto Rico but came to the USA as children. Growing up in Castle Hill, J-Lo shared a bedroom with her sisters Leslie and Linda. She also was raised in a strict household and in a Roman Catholic family. She attended the Holy Family School and Princeton High School. Jennifer was active in athletics, acting, and dancing during her adolescent years. Fun fact, as a teenager, she learned flamenco, jazz, and ballet at the Kids Bay Boys and Girls Club. She also taught dance to younger students, including Kerry Washington. Yes, Kerry Washington's from the Bronx too. Anyways, at 16 years old, Jennifer made her debut in the 1986 film My Little Girl. After graduating from high school, she had a part-time job at a law firm and was majoring in business at New York's Baruch College for one semester. At 18 years old, she enrolled as a full-time student at Manhattan's Phil Black Dance Studio, where she had already taken night classes in jazz and tap dance. Jennifer's parents were unhappy with her decision to leave college to pursue a dancing career. Her mother asked her to leave out of the family home and they stopped speaking for 8 months. She ended up moving to Manhattan, sleeping in the dance studio's office for the first few months. Jennifer Lopez started to make waves as a dancer in numerous shows, stage productions, and music videos in the 1990s. Her biggest credits include dancing in Yo! MTV Raps.
So Reggie Jackson, Vida Blue, Rick Ennis, and all those guys, they used to call me the Little Hammer. So when I became a rapper, MC Hammer.
Yo, that's kind of fly. But check it out, Hammer. We got to get into another video. I want you to do the honors, man.
Yo, this is the K9 Posse. Vernon Lynch Jr., Eddie Murphy's little brother, is super hype. It's called Ain't No...
In Living Color.
And last year's new addition from Boogie Down Bronx, Jennifer Lopez.
And Janet Jackson's That's the Way Love Grows music video.
Johnny, listen to us when we talking to you.
I know you hear it loud. Now she wants everybody to hear it.
Fun fact, Jennifer was going to be one of Janet's dancers on the Janet World Tour, but opted out in 1993 to pursue acting. With small roles here and there, in 1995, she received a major role in My Family. After My Family, she was co-starring in major films with 1997's Selena being her breakthrough as an actress and pop star. Fun fact, her debut album On the Six debuts in 1999. It features her hit singles If You Have My Love,
If you had my love and I gave you all my trust, would you
Waiting for the Night,
waiting for tonight? Oh, when you would be.
and Feeling So Good. Okay, on to the survey results. As you all know, I did a survey. Here's the proof. If you did not believe me, now you see it. Okay, on to question 1. Do you think Jennifer Lopez is a great actress? 15% say yes, 62% say she's okay, 23% say no. In my opinion, Jennifer Lopez is a good actress. She's not the best, but she is a good actress. And I know this is a debatable topic, but in my opinion, I've seen Jennifer Lopez act her ass out, acting well, in my opinion. And these include the following films: Selena, The Cell, Monster-in-Law, An Unfinished Life, Lila and Eve, and Shades in Blue. I also remember watching Wedding Planner and Made in Manhattan when I was a kid, and in my opinion, those movies were not the best, but they were good, surface level, but they were good. And it was funny too because in The Wedding Planner, Jennifer Lopez, she portrayed an Italian woman. I did hear her receive praise for her performance in Hustlers, but I have not watched the movie Hustlers yet, so I cannot give a critique on that. But if she received numerous awards, I believe it. It's possible. And she was even going to be nominated for an Oscar, but we all know the outcome. But
work with, and if you're lucky, they make you better. And I have been very lucky in that regard. As an actor, I'm not any of the women that I've played, but there's a part of what is deeply true to me in each one of those characters. And since you cannot create truth unless you've really lived it.
Number 2, do you think Jennifer Lopez is a great singer? 31% say yes, 42% say she's okay, 27% say no. Jennifer Lopez is an okay singer.
Should I scream and shout? Should I speak of love? Let my feelings out. I never thought I'd come to this.
If you had my love and I gave you all my trust, would you comfort me? I don't waste dream. No. Whoa, I'm sorry everybody, that hurt me too. Don't you understand, baby, credit cards are in romance, so you're trying to buy what's already yours. What you feel, I'll always be to me, call me baby. You had my love. I'm happy to say, in a lot of ways you change me, makes me smile. Let them jeans cut you while you're dancing. It's his birthday, give him what he asked for. You must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? Oh, they gotta, this queen need a king. For life, for life, for life, for life.
As you've seen in the previous clips, she had hits and misses while performing live, and this is my opinion when it comes to this, because I'm not a professional when it comes to vocal technique. When it comes to Jennifer Lopez, when she was starting off like tryouts and her first live performance of If You Have My Love, you can tell that she needed practice. Definitely she needed practice in between certain parts of the songs. And of course, like that performance when she was auditioning in 1990, that was a whole mess. But back to the If You Have My Love performance in 1999 on the David Letterman show, I believe she could have done practice and of course like start off calmly in the beginning, but I believe she was nervous. I'm going to try to give her grace. And I do think there were certain parts where she actually did pretty well, but her background singers carried the performance. When you go through time with her voice, there were once again hits and misses in between, and then you get to like her most recent performance, which is her on Jimmy Fallon, and in my opinion, she did a pretty good job in that performance. Her and Manuma, they know how to work together with their voices to combine it well together, and then that performance was actually done on, I believe she posted this on Instagram. That one, it was okay. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, but like I said, you could see through the years she has progressed. But I do get people's critiques. She's not the best singer, but that's okay. We all have our special techniques, and in this case, Jennifer Lopez tries, and that's okay to some people. Yeah. If I had to pick a favorite album from hers, it would be This Is Me Done. Number 3. Did you know that J-Lo was called out for using the N-word on I'm Real Murder Remix? 32% say yes. 68% say no. Yes, Jennifer Lopez received a bunch of backlash for using the N-word in I'm Real Murder Remix featuring Ja Rule.
The song also faced backlash because of Jennifer's use of the N-word.
I do want to acknowledge that the person who was insisting to make Jennifer Lopez to use the N-word is Ja Rule. As a matter of fact, this is what his coon ass said in a 2001 interview with MTV. I think it's silly, Ja said. I think the whole thing, like everything else, is being brought out of proportion. She's not the first Latino to use that word on a record, and it's never been an issue before. I think it's just that she's a very high profile star, and it's something to let people get a chance to poke at her. In the 2014 interview, Ja Rule says this: "All my Spanish niggas I know say nigga," Rule explained to DJ Vrad in 2014. "I never looked at them in any way and said, yo, watch that. I think they were upset because they don't see her as Jenny from the block, Jenny from the Broads. They see her as this global icon. Matter of fact, some people probably see her as white." What bothers me about this part is that, first off, Ja Rule is a coon, but second of all, the way he generalized all Latinos is a problem, especially Latinos from New York City, because I know he's talking specifically about Latinos in New York City. And one of my biggest pet peeves, and I have to bring this up, sorry, but one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone says Latinos, Hispanics are Spanish. We're not Spanish. Of course, if you talk about Hispanics when it comes to Spaniards, that's a different story, but we do not identify as Spanish because that's the language we speak, or family, or our family members speak. So for him to be saying Spanish niggas, and then what bothers me more is that they not niggas, they are non-black Latinos. Say it with your chest. But instead he goes, oh, my Spanish niggas, and it's like, what you mean by that? So you're trying to say you only hang out with non-black Latinos, which we all know the answer is yes, which is a problem, but that's not the point. And yes, while Ja Rule has a point that there are other Latinos that were saying the N-word before Jennifer Lopez in their records, that still doesn't make it okay for Jennifer Lopez and these other Latinos that are not black, or at least half black, to be using the N-word. And I'm just tired of these excuses. And I know some of you guys are gonna be like, but he said that in 2001. He also said this in 2014. Remember that. And he even allowed Fat Joe to be using the N-word when they did their verses, which was recently. So don't tell me anything. I have a right to complain. In the same Genius article written by Julian Kebbel, he states, in fact, Lopez's 2014 single, which was written by Tinashe, was originally titled I Love Y'all Nigga. When J-Lo recorded it, it was renamed I Love Ya Papi. She wasn't making the same mistake twice.
I love you, puppy. I love you, puppy. I love you, puppy. I love you, puppy. I love you, puppy.
I give Jennifer Lopez credit for changing the usage of that word, but this is where I'm going to have to come at Tinashe. Why would you pass off a song with that word, knowing that it could go to any person, anyone, not just black or mixed with black artists, but anyone? That's a problem. And this is gonna be controversial, but I have to bring this up too. Tinashe is not half black American, if you did not know that. Her black parent is, I forgot what country, but he's descended from a country obviously in Africa. I forgot the name of the country. I'm gonna probably put it somewhere in the screen. And I think he was born in Canada. But Tinashe feels like she has the entitlement to be using the N-word in her display, in her music. And it's like, yes, sure, you could use the N-word because you are half black, but for you to use it to write it in the song, giving it out to people, and then you don't even know who's gonna see this song and have hands on it, is a problem. Because what happens if they not, like Jennifer Lopez, more cautious and careful with what they say or do with their music? They could end up just using that word just because, oh, Tinashe wrote the song and she put it in the title and she put it in the lyrics. That's a problem.
Puppy, yeah, that's my puppy. I love you, puppy. I love you, puppy. I love you.
The Soy Negrita del Bronx line in her collaboration with Manuma.
Yo siempre seré tu negrita del Bronx.
When she said this, I'm going to be honest, it is a term of endearment when it comes to Puerto Ricans of all races, surface level, but I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, when it comes to me and other black people who are descended from Latin America and or were born in Latin America, they do not like that word, especially when it comes from non-black people. And the word I'm talking about is negrito, negrita. We do not like being called that, especially if it's from a person who's not black. It's very distasteful. And growing up, my family didn't like doing that. They didn't like when people call us that. That's not a proper way to talk to people, especially black people or mixed with black people. But it's like the equivalent of the N-word, depending how the person says it. And I do not like when people say that. So that's my opinion on that.
Con mi nombre adelante, todo lo que tengo solo tiene precio, sí. Pa' ti, todo lo que tengo es pa' ti. Pa' ti, solo pa' ti.
Number 4. Do you know that J-Lo and her team stole music from black and mixed with black women? 54% say yes. 46% say no. Yes, Jennifer Lopez and her team took songs from numerous artists, specifically black and mixed with black artists, allegedly, even though the evidence is out there, but allegedly. Here are some artists you may have heard singing in the background of her songs or singing most of her songs from 1999 to 2007 or 2008. Christina Milian, Ashanti, Brandy, Natasha Ramos, Makemba Reddick Woods, to name a few. Artists she stolen music from or tried to allegedly: Chantel Moore, Mariah Carey, Ashanti, Deborah Laws, Amari, Usher, to name a few. I do want to acknowledge that P. Diddy, alongside other black male producers and songwriters, played a factor of how J-Lo and her team, including Tommy Mottola, received these songs allegedly. I'm telling you, P. Diddy is a menace to society, specifically to the society of the music industry. Definitely, he's a menace when it comes to the music industry. Number 5. Do you think J-Lo deserves to do tributes for historic black and mixed with black musicians? 27% say yes. 73% say no. No. Jennifer Lopez does not have the right to be doing any tributes for black nor mixed with black artists, especially because of the things she has done to black and mixed with black artists in the industry, and showed it's not Jennifer Lopez's fault for these actions, because we all know it's a system, it's the team, it's the label, but she willingly participated in these actions. So yes, it does make it Jennifer Lopez's fault to some degree. Calm down. And yeah, sure, Jennifer Lopez looked up to black and mixed with black artists to some degree, but it still doesn't change the fact that she has done things that prove to us that she's not exactly on our side to some degree. Number 6. Do you think J-Lo has done enough to support black Latino artists? 21% say yes. 79% say no. Whoever voted yes is lying. Lying! Yes, you're lying. Tell me, what black Latino has J-Lo put on in the music industry or collaborated with publicly, with the exception of Gente de Zona in 2017's Ni Tu Ni Yo? Cardi B's not Afro-Latina, and she made a song with J-Lo a year after she popped off. Prince Royce is not Afro-Latino, and he made a song with Jennifer once he was an established artist. Fat Joe, Big Pun, and Mark Anthony are not Afro-Latinos. So, please give me an artist that J-Lo has put on who is a black Latino, aka an Afro-Latino, my complexion, or darker in the industry. None. Exactly. Number 7. Do you think J-Lo has the right to inaccurately represent other Latino cultures? 32% say yes, 68% say no. When it comes to J-Lo representing other Latinos, it can be a hit or miss. That I know of, she portrayed 3 Mexican characters. The films include My Family, Selena, and Bordeltown. I never watched My Family and Bordeltown, but I have watched Selena numerous times. She did a great job in Selena, but I know there was backlash due to her being Puerto Rican, not Mexican. When it comes to this area, I do understand how Mexicans and or other Latinos felt that it should have been someone who is Mexican, either from Mexico or Mexican descent, to be portraying Selena. But this is my opinion. Please, my opinion. I feel like Jennifer did a great job portraying Selena, and she embodied Selena when I saw the film. And keep in mind, I saw the film numerous times growing up, and as an adult. I think I watched it once, or twice. I'm not sure, because sometimes it gets me sad when I watch the movie, I'm going to be honest, but it's a good movie, and I feel like Jennifer did a great job portraying Selena. Director George Nava mentioned something that I kind of agree with to some extent when it comes to his decision of choosing Jennifer Lopez to be portraying Selena. Selena director Gregory Nava, My Family, admits it was a little hurtful. The protesters should be celebrating that we have an all-Latino cast and that Jennifer Lopez, one of our own, is becoming a star. I understand how he feels to some degree because, yes, Jennifer Lopez worked hard. She deserved this opportunity to be portraying Selena. But we also have to hear from the people who disagree and have their own opinions on why she shouldn't portray her. But at the end of the day, that's not our movie, that's his movie. Even though Selena is a real person and she was Mexican descent, but we also have to remember that's his movie. And I believe Selena's family, they were in agreement with Jennifer Lopez to be portraying Selena. So he's right. It was an all Latino cast, and of course he's a Latino director, I believe. I think he is. So it means a lot for him to get a bunch of people who are Latino descent. I'm not sure if they are Mexican, most likely probably not, to be in this movie about a legendary singer who happened to die tragically and very recently, because Selena died around 1995, I think. Yeah, 1995, and then they made this movie immediately after she passed away. So I understand both sides. Number 8. Do you think J-Lo has done enough to support the Bronx? 28% say yes, 72% say no. Now, J-Lo is worth between $150 million to $400 million. She has donated to numerous charities, that is true. This includes charitable initiatives for 9/11 victims and was featured on the songs What's Going On and En Último Adiós. Run for Something Better, the Lopez Family Foundation, and donating to Hurricane Maria victims. That's nice and all, but Jennifer Lopez can do way more for the Bronx, especially in Castle Hill. I do want to highlight a few things she has done before I give my criticisms and other Bronx natives' points of view. J-Lo has done the following publicly for the Bronx. On June 4th, 2014, she had a partnership with State Farms to perform for Bronx natives for free at Ultra Beach. Keep in mind, this is the first time she's ever done this, and this also includes VIP packages to the otherwise free concert were also being sold for $150 a ticket. All proceeds were going to the Lopez Family Foundation, the Kids Bay Boys and Girls Club, Teach for America, and other Bronx-based institutions. Partnership with Goldman Sachs 10,000 small businesses that will support Latina entrepreneurs, including Bronx Latina natives. Partnering up with Montefiore Medical Center to establish the Center for a Healthy Childhood. Visiting the Bronx frequently while filming Made in Manhattan and reaching out. While this is nice and all, a few of the things is like, okay, this is good, but then at the same time, you can still do more, in my opinion. I do want to quote something that Ed Garcia Cortez had said previously back in 2013 or 2014 about Jennifer Lopez, and I agree with what he said too. Ed Garcia Cortez states, yes, J-Lo donates millions to charities, particularly dealing with women and children's issues, but what about the Bronx? Sure, it's her money, and yes, she can decide what to do with it, but at some point, isn't it almost a responsibility to give something back to the community whose name you invoke all the time and essentially use? I mean, he's telling the truth. Sorry, he is. He's saying the truth.
Me the opportunity every day to live a life I couldn't even imagine would come true when I was a little girl growing up in the Bronx. I know you too.
So Jennifer, why was it important for you to name your company New Yorican Productions?
Because I'm a Puerto Rican from New York.
I suppose that's a perfect reason.
Yes, I appreciate Jennifer Lopez always representing the Bronx, always mentioning the Bronx wherever she gets a chance. It shows how much she is proud to be from the Bronx, but I do also believe it's a way of her trying to be relatable, to be like, I started from here and now I'm all the way here with all this money, but, and you know, with showing my talents or somewhat talents here and there everywhere, but at the same time, it's like, you have to show that, yes, I'm from here and I'm always trying to make sure that I reach out to my community or the Bronx as a whole. What's more funny is that Fat Joe and Kerry Washington have done way more than Jennifer Lopez, and these two do not have the equivalent amount of money that Jennifer Lopez has. But here are my suggestions of what she can do if she wants to give back to the Bronx. Continue making donations to small-owned businesses, privately and publicly. Create a performing arts program and a studio in the Bronx. Give back to Bronx schools, especially in low-income areas. Do a fundraiser concert for Bronx natives once a year at Ocean Beach or Yankee Stadium. Make movie and TV productions in the Bronx. Number 9. Do you think Jennifer Lopez is a controversial? 56% say yes. 44% say no. If you made it this far without skipping, first off, thank you so much. But second of all, yes, Jennifer Lopez is a controversial. She and her team started music from black and mixed with black musicians, allowing people like Ja Rule, co-signing ignorance on her upbringing and ethnic background to use the N-word, and being accused of appropriating other cultures, to name a few, allegedly, even though, yeah. Once again, Ed, he was saying facts. He states, J-Lo lived in the Castle Hill neighborhood of the Bronx, which was and is worlds apart from the burning South Bronx of our youth. Castle Hill has been a hard-working middle-class community since I could remember, and more suburban in nature than urban. This is far from that horrible Bronx image that she conjures up whenever speaking of making it from the Bronx. Miss Lopez makes it seem as if she grew up in the projects in the middle of a burnt out buildings with nothing but rubber strewn lots as a playground. Although she doesn't actually say that, for millions of fans around the world that don't know the Bronx, that is what is assumed, and she never corrects them. Ed has a point. During the 1970s and 80s, Fat Joe and Big Pun were raised in the Bronx around the same time as J-Lo. These two men lived in the South Bronx where poverty was prominent. So the way they present themselves to some degree is understandable. I still do not excuse both of them for using the N-word and making it a global phenomenon, because they put it in their songs using the N-word. Their backgrounds were different from J-Lo's. Just because the Bronx is a poor borough does not mean the lifestyles of residents are similar to one another. We all have our own experiences of being born and raised in the Bronx. And of course, this is not only towards Jennifer Lopez. There are other celebrities and people that are even living in the Bronx who do similar things like this, and they live in these areas that are not poor or predominantly, for example, black, because we all know a lot of people appropriate from black culture, especially black American culture. That's another discussion for another day. But the point of what I'm trying to say is that Jennifer Lopez is not the only person who has done this, but I'm calling her out. Number 10. Do you think Jennifer Lopez paved the way for controversial / industry plans? 69% say yes, 31% say no. I watched Naomi Cannonball's video on industry plans and she did a great job. I agree with her when she used Jennifer Lopez as an example of an industry plan in the music industry. I do recommend you guys to watch the video. I would mention a few superstars that I believe are industry plants. Man, this is not a video about these people. This is about Jennifer Lopez, and I think I talked about a bunch of people and a bunch of examples, and I don't want to mess this up. You know, we already here, so.
I think I wanna drive your Benz I got my own. Come on.
Concluding statements and the outro of this video. While Jennifer Lopez did inspire me to some degree, one of them being for me to potentially pursue a career in acting, I believe we have a right to give constructive criticism. I get it. Some people are going to be like, why you care so much? I mean, I should. First off, she has done dirty to numerous black and mixed with black artists. So that is a problem, and that is my problem because I'm a black person. But also, the fact that she has never addressed these issues publicly, it's a problem. She needs to. And instead of her allowing stupid people like Ja Rule or even other people trying to defend her, which includes her fans, specifically her super fans and maybe her management team, I'm not sure because I don't really be searching up about Jennifer Lopez no more like that frequently, but she herself has to address it, talk about it publicly, and even potentially apologize. There are going to be people who are not going to accept her apology, which is totally fine because that's their choice, especially if they black and mix with black, because we're the demographic who is affected by this, especially the ones that are in the music industry. And of course, Jennifer Lopez has the right to explore her sound in her music. I'm not saying she does not have the right to do that. The issue is when you steal people's vocals, put it in your songs, lip singing to it, those parts of the song in the music videos, and when you lip sync live, that's bad, in my opinion. Jennifer Lopez's music has a special place in my heart, surface level, especially when it comes to her first 3 projects, because these projects were huge to me growing up, especially when I became a teenager, when I started to actually listen to albums. And in 2020, I made the decision to not listen to her music no more. Will I ever listen to Jennifer Lopez's music again? Who knows? But as of now, I'm fine not listening to her music no more. And of course, I broke that technically because I had to research for this video, but I have not listened to it in Apple Music, so if she admits it, what she has done wrong in the industry, specifically in the music industry, I maybe listen to her music again. And or if she re-records the records and she's singing with her actual voice and barely any background singers in the background, I maybe want to hear her stuff again. Maybe. Who knows? I do know that Jennifer Lopez is going to make an album. It's going to be titled This Is Me Now.
Much like This Is Me Now, and This Is Me Now was even a further kind of step up in that sense, because we created it.
Did you just tell me the name of the album?
I did.
Did you just tell me the name of the album?
Yes.
This is me then. This is me now.
This is me now.
The same way This Is Me Then captured a moment in time, a very special moment in time, this album also did the same thing, captured a very special moment in time. So this is me now.
We see how that goes.
And it's crazy, but oh baby, it don't matter whatever, don't faze me.
Thank you so much if you made this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment. I worked very hard on this video, so if you want to share, please share. I give you the permission to share this video, and I hope you can tell I worked very hard, very, very hard. If you know who I'm trying to dress as, please comment it below if you want to. But if you want a hint, check the community tab and you're gonna see a picture. Well, 2 pictures, or 3, I'm not sure, I forgot, it was a while ago, okay? Or you can check. I want to say Happy New Year if this video does come out a few days before New Year's Day, Eve, whatever. Happy New Year's to mi gentes. Thank you so much for the support of my channel, and I can't wait to continue making more amazing content in 2023. Thank you, and